So Chad and Julia Veach, welcome back to Hey Luskos.
This is so fun.
Oopsies. Are we doing this?
Did I step on your cord? Oh, we're doing it.
We're on.
Oh, sorry, we can do it again. Want me to do it again?
Hold on.
No, I like this.
You like that?
I do whatever you'd like.
No,
Is
we're
it
keeping
hot?
that. This
It
is
is
the
kinda
intro.
hot.
That's the
Yeah,
intro.
this is the intro.
I was going to say,
You can take it off
with
if you
this,
Yes.
you have now tied for the most repeated guest on Hey Luskos history.
Who are we tied with?
Lisa Harper.
Oh,
Because this is visit number 4 for you, Chad.
This I
visit.
am in good company.
And then Lisa's been on 4 times. Julia, this is your second, but as the Veaches.
together
Yes,
we're
together.
Together we're
six.
crushing it.
I mean,
do
if you count your
girl
visits
math.
as individual, yeah. Girl
which we
math.
always do.
Girl math, we win. Yeah, okay. So anyhow, all that to say, you are very loved around these
Oh
parts.
my gosh. I was looking back on photos of us at the gun range here together in 2014.
Yes,
Wow.
wow.
Yeah, like, hanging out after services. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Like rushing to go do that right before the airport.
I think you went straight to the airport.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we have had that backfire, pun intended, because of like gunpowder residue on hands.
not real.
You know what I mean? I'm telling you.
Really?
Or casings that got into a pocket. I have a friend who went to the
Oh my
airport,
gosh.
accidentally had a live round in his pocket. Oh man. 10
no names.
TSA agents.
Brandon Lake. Anyways.
He's never been seen. He's never been seen again.
Yeah, and they shut down the summer night
He says
worship
they
tour.
were very gentle, but
Oh my.
can you imagine?
Wow.
Oh, scary.
No, I actually cannot imagine.
Okay, have you ever not had your ID trying to go through TSA with that? That's like my greatest fear.
Yeah, I know people that have used their books as like this proof. This is really me. That's pretty strong.
Who travels with their own
My greatest
book?
fear in TSA is that people would recognize us because we are the most unchristian.
It's tough
couple.
to be spirit filled, spirit led in that environment.
Yeah,
Oh,
our
it's true.
I mean, I don't know what our topic is on this pod today,
This
but
is it. We're here to talk about TSA
our
the
biggest
flesh.
fights,
and the process of
our
sanctification.
biggest
Yes.
fights
Yeah.
have
Traveling.
been through TSA.
Yeah.
We don't want to know each other.
Not
Is
with
it-
us, with them.
Is,
Anyways,
is
It's
it
us
folding
versus
up the stroller? Like, what is it that
It's
causes
all of it. It's, what relief when you get to the other side. There's a message in that, right?
Yeah.
Ooh.
When you're in the middle of it, you get to the, when you're watching your bag, just hoping that it doesn't get darted over to the side.
So much anticipation.
The moment you come through and it just sends it down, you're like, oh,
Can
aware.
I tell
good
you,
day.
we
But
just
then the shame that
recently,
floods
I
in
might have already
when it
told you
goes-
this, but we just recently, as a family, came through London. And when they said, put everything of your toiletries in this bag over and over again, I was like, we don't need to do that because TSA pre,
Yeah,
in my head,
we're good.
We're TSA pre.
We're good. We're exempt.
So I said, we don't need to do that.
We're elite.
Every one of our bags got pushed to the side and they
Hello.
were furious. Did you not hear we said put your toiletries
we
in this
looked
bag?
at you
said
in the
this.
eyes. We pulled out a plastic
And
bag.
I'm not
you
telling
did
you
not hear us.
because there were so many people coming through.
Yeah.
It took there was only a couple of agents. It took maybe an hour to get
Oh,
through all of our bags
my
and to get them
goodness.
redone. We came pretty close to missing that flight.
Yeah.
So I mean, it was a tense, tough moment because I had confidently said, "Don't do it. Don't listen to that guy. We're gonna be fine." So
Hence the feeling of relief when you get that bag and it's coming towards you and you're like, all right, we did it.
yeah.
We went through all
We
that
beat the
trouble,
system.
all that hardship. We're on the other side.
So they don't play in London. PSA,
No, they
public
do
service
not, no.
announcement.
But
It's-
also, I think most of the bags that were stopped were Americans.
yeah, they
Yeah.
Who
did.
were like, oh, we don't
Yeah.
need to do
Yeah.
that.
all TSA pre-check owners.
Exactly.
but how great is that? And how worthy of $99 is TSA pre?
Yeah, how annoying is it when you're traveling with people that like you love and they're on your team or something, and you're splitting because you're going off to TSA pre, but they're regular people, economy, 39F people,
Yeah.
But you're like you don't have TSA pre. I always go like, come on, we got to just go to Walgreens, get
Yeah.
your TSA
Get your
pre-check.
TSA. They have it at
Staples.
Walgreens now.
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's so true. So catch us up on life. I mean, obviously, the new building is kind of like the big deal right now. As people are listening to this, it's mid-September, so that's
we're-
probably in, right?
We're in.
my God.
You guys are in your new
Basically
building.
tomorrow.
We're in
Yes.
our new building.
So
we're just
exciting.
building brothers. We're
building
we're,
brothers.
We're
yeah.
building siblings.
Yeah,
Yes,
we're
it's very
building
good.
siblings.
We're building.
So,
fun.
Zoe Church, LA, it's now 10 years?
9 years.
9
we
years?
just turned 9
Okay,
years
just
old.
turned 9.
Yeah. You guys are 17.
Yeah.
Yes, but I'm thinking the building process has gone on for almost 5.
9 years, the building process. If you
if we count the building seed that was in our hearts.
Yeah.
But from when you actually bought this land, though.
We bought it this summer of 2022.
Yeah, 2 years.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it'll be over 2 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was an 18-month renovation project.
But
And when I
raising
say
money
renovation,
before
it's
that.
like 18 months
Yeah,
of permits.
exactly.
Yeah.
Prepping the church, trying to get, ready to go.
Yeah.
And here we are. It's
And
very exciting.
being this close, as we record this, we still have another month to go. What still has to be done before the opening, a month and a half or so?
Well, the big deal was getting all the electrical. So they're kind of finishing all that project, and then that allows them to kind of complete all the sound video lighting. And right now our windows are going in and finishing the flooring, all that kind of stuff. So all the last minute stuff.
Yeah, it's really exciting.
So
She's
anyone-
run the project,
for
by the way.
anyone listening-
All props to Julia.
Anywhere in Southern California area, LA, gotta
visit
come
us.
swing by Zoe Church. Where's the building at?
We are in a neighborhood called Highland Park, and that's the east side of LA. It's probably about 7 minutes from downtown, and near kind of like Dodger Stadium, right around there. So not quite east as Pasadena, but it's a really cool pocket of LA. We're on this street, Figueroa, and it's just filled with some of the best restaurants, coffee shops.
All the stuff you'd love.
We have a Michelin star taco shop across the street from our new building.
No big deal.
I mean,
No
there you
big-
are.
n-
It's
no
your
big
cafeteria,
deal.
basically.
Yeah, it's our calf.
Yeah.
We call it our calf.
Lunch break. It is.
yeah,
what it is.
yeah, exactly.
So September, it's coming.
Yeah.
Here
And
we
Julie,
go.
what's your favorite thing about the building as you've kind of gotten to oversee the design aspects of it?
I think permanence is probably my favorite.
Yes, Lord.
Yes, I am just really looking forward to seeing just permanence and momentum. Like you make one little change and then you don't get to take one step forward and then 2 steps backwards because something with load-in went missing or some disruption.
Totally.
So I'm excited for the team, really. I'm excited for momentum. I'm excited to meet people and families in that area. This will be the largest square footage children's space out of any of the venues we've ever been
Because for
to.
9 years,
Without
you have
question.
set up and torn down, torn down,
Yeah.
and had to make do. You've done a great job, but with theaters, bars,
Yeah.
random spaces.
I think we've counted 44 different venues.
Yeah, not
No
on
way.
Sundays, but if
right?
you take in all like the conferences and
Yeah.
Heart and Souls and prayer nights, 44 different venues in totality, which is pretty remarkable. Shout out to all the volunteers, all the teams, the
Seriously.
load and load. There's so many legends.
Early morning.
Yeah,
The late, yeah.
It's kind of like I was talking to, Dan, leads your Whitefish
Yeah.
location. He's like, "Oh, this is the first time for Whitefish that they'll be in a permanent location.
Yeah.
So
to have
such a
youth,
big deal.
to have a place for youth group.
Yeah, exactly.
You just don't think about that because you're paying for a venue
Yeah.
on Sunday, but
Yeah.
like, how do you really build a youth
That's
group
right.
without
Right.
without a place to call home?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Amazing.
Yeah,
So-
I think just the physical home allows for so much more spiritual formation because you think about that Monday through Saturday, the opportunities are endless for people to gather and connect and pause, and we're
Yeah.
not in a rush and there's no loadout time. It just feels like there is so much development that can take place.
Yeah.
So good, you
Yeah.
guys.
My favorite is the ceilings are so high and so huge. So it's beautiful.
Space.
When we bought it, we didn't realize that there was like a whole nother open space. And so when we opened it up, we go, we cannot close this. It's unbelievable.
High
so
ceilings.
it's very high ceilings.
Yeah.
Looks stunning. Yeah.
That's
And we went with
amazing.
the white interior. It's kind of a little new move, a little trendy,
No,
not
I
everybody's
agree.
done it, but
fresh and
it's
Church,
fresh.
we were saying
Yeah.
church went so dark, so black box,
Yeah.
Forever.
so,
So-
theatrical.
so
So,
black
to
box.
have that go a little bit different, refreshing,
Yeah.
clean, open.
It's really cool.
That's very exciting.
Yeah.
Okay, so everyone's got to come visit it. They can go to zoechurch.com, get information, check it out. Obviously, Leadership Lean In, Chad,
Yes.
your podcast. You guys are, you hit 100 episodes quite a while back. You had a live
Yeah.
recording for it.
Yeah.
Fun.
What's the newest with Leadership Lean In?
So I think you were saying this is 170 something.
Yeah,
and 174. And I think we're right close to hitting 170. So we're right there in the same
neck and
neighborhood.
neck.
It's so fun. I stumbled into doing a podcast. I wasn't like looking to do it. And so it took me forever to kind of get committed to a weekly post. And so now that we've done it, I love it. It's so much fun. It's so tribal. Do you find that with this podcast? Like people listen to it religiously.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's so different than a reaction
think
to a
so.
sermon.
Well, you were a part of us cementing our tribe.
Tell me
you
about
have your leaners.
Yeah.
That's what you call them.
Yeah. What
and
are
I
we
was
here?
sitting there going, they got the leaners.
Yeah.
Carlos Whitaker's got his Insta Familia.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
He's got
he
his crew.
crushes
So I
that.
feel like giving a name helps. So I was going, man, we need a name, right? So
Yeah.
this is 30 episodes ago, 40 episodes ago, or something like that. And we had come up with 3, 4, 5 different ideas. None
Yeah.
of them are working.
Yep.
So Tim and Juliet Ross are on, and we float the different ideas past her, and she just stops me right there and goes, "That's not the name of your people. Your people are called the Luskos." So we have absolutely run Luskos up the flagpole,
And people would love it.
and they do.
And we are
we'll-
like traveling, and they'll say, "Hey, I'm a Luskos."
We'll be at a
Musketeer.
book signing line, and someone
I'm
just
just telling
quickly,
you.
just so you know, you says, "I'm a Luskos."
It's a big deal.
and we are in it, so we love it. So
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a different tribal like ownership to a podcast than I think even a church.
Yeah.
It's so awesome. I want to say strange. It's so awesome to me because no one ever comes up to me and goes, "I'm a Zoe." Ever.
yeah.
I'm a Zoe.
No matter how many
I'm a
sermons
Zoe.
I'm a
they do.
Zoe-er, but they'll say I'm a
everywhere I go,
leaner.
people go, "I'm a leaner." Hey,
Yeah.
just so you know, I'm a leaner.
But I wanted to thank you for your role in helping us
It's
develop
awesome.
that. So
It's so fun.
Yeah.
And I think people want to hear us talk like this.
Yeah.
When we're on stage, by the way, you preach so good today.
Yes.
She
We
sure
were
did.
talking about how beautiful your message was. It was so
Thank
good.
you.
And how just you mothered the entire conference. It was so beautiful. But, people listen to you, communicate the word of God. And in that, we're so focused and intentional and deliberate, but it's not conversational.
Right.
And we're not talking about being Luskaters. And
And
we're
laughing,
not,
and
laughing
and saying weird things sometimes.
It's such a beautiful medium of communication.
Yeah.
You're able to give yourself to people in a
Yeah.
different way,
Yeah.
and
100%.
the struggles of life and the in-between moments and the reality. And I think it actually makes the preaching almost more powerful
Yeah.
in a sense.
100%.
And your focus is obviously more leadership,
Yeah.
where ours is just worthlessness. We just talk about absolutely nothing. So it's nice that you have
We don't
a
even
title.
We don't
have
have
a
a
plan.
direction at
No,
all.
we don't even know.
We're just like, so what have you guys been up to, man?
So I'm going to subscribe to yours because clearly I need a rudder in my life. A lot of times people go, so when did the actual questions start? I'm like, no, this is actually
that was
this
the
is-
interview.
We were going to talk about
this
TSA
is it.
more.
Yeah.
Can we talk about that a
Did
little
you
bit?
did you not have a good time?
Yeah, that's awesome. So I like that. So I feel like, so I'm just curious, like where does the content come from for you crafting? Because you're definitely crafting content
Yeah.
that you're conveying in those.
Yeah, I just really enjoy this subject. I'm just like all of us, just wanting to learn constantly. And, I always buy into that verse when wisdom says, if you put me around your neck and you call me your sister, I'll advance you, I'll promote you, I'll favor you, honor you with me as long life. So leaning into leadership to me is like leaning into wisdom. Help me lead better. If there's one thing we can ask for, it's like Solomon, give me wisdom. So that's really what we're
so
trying to do is go, none of us have arrived. None of us have figured it all out. We do not have all the answers, but we do have all the questions. And maybe in our quest to become better, you could become better as well. So that's kind of the approach of going like, I definitely don't ever want to come off like, hey, listen to my 4 points because if you get around us, it's like, wow, maybe you shouldn't have a podcast. You're just like me. You're trying to figure it out just the same. So I like that. I don't have any pressure to say I'm an expert. I like coming alongside and saying I'm also a student.
Yeah.
But you also,
Love
both
that.
of you are leading every day, hands on the till, like you're
Yeah.
going for it. So a lot of the ideas have been tested. I mean, these things have been worked
Yeah.
out within the organization of Zoe Church as well, too, though, right?
Yeah, sure. I think that I attempt to lead Chad and doesn't quite work out that well. No.
You're amazing.
Sure. I loved what you talked about today, Jenny. It was so beautiful. And we got to have a conversation about the topic of influence around lunch with our kids. And, leadership is just influence that God's given you and leading the things that he's entrusted you with. So yes, that's a staff, that's a church, that's our children, that's each other. But I find in this season right now, we've really loved just being an influence and help leading in new capacities, like our neighbors, our little league community. Chad, he's in the box as the announcer. Next up to the plate is number 8.
You were born for that.
Oh, yeah.
Born
By
for
the
that.
way, sorry, not to be limited to just the announcer. I also run the scoreboard and I'm the DJ. So there's a lot going on.
The DJ,
And I'm in heaven.
was the
Need
cell.
anybody running the snack bar?
I'm in. No, she is. She's.
Oh, you run the
she
snack
does
bar.
a lot of
Okay.
snack bar. But it's a whole thing. So
I'm
I
not
get to
gonna
run the
brag,
playlist.
But my smash burgers, come
No,
find
it's
me.
my- it's
Shout
kinda
out to
my favorite
Draw
thing I got
Little
going.
League. Yeah. No, Little League is a cult. Sorry, culture. It's a strong culture. But no, it's been fun to be like,
Yeah.
we are not just leading a church community. God has put, different relationships in our life and in our way, and it's been fun. But I've been a guest a few times on the pod, and I
not
feel
a
like
guest.
we get nowhere. We get
Stop.
nowhere.
Yeah, we do this. We do
It's
this.
fun.
We do.
Yes.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
Come over to
exactly.
our podcast anytime you want,
Okay,
Julia.
yeah,
You'll fit
yeah.
in around
we'll
here.
talk.
I
just
told
fine.
Levi, I don't talk fast. I talk in circles. So I don't. Yeah, this is how I
great.
accomplish
But
everything.
what's so refreshing is you guys have so much fun doing whatever it is that you're doing, whether it is leading church, whether it is Little League. Like it's just, you guys have so much fun, and your relationship is always so inspiring for us to watch and see just how much fun you have
Oh, you're
in
kind.
your
Well,
life and with your kids.
joy comes off you
Joy,
guys.
It
exudes
joy
off
marks
you
you
guys.
guys.
You're
Yeah.
so kind.
And your family culture is
family.
very unique. Very unique. The Veach family culture, what you guys are distilling in your boys, the principles, the prayers. I mean, you've spoken before about the confessions you speak over your boys and things you've taught them that they can recite within the Veach family culture. So I'm just curious, like, where did that come from? Was that modeled to you guys from your parents, or is that something that you guys have really kind of...
I think we're just picking up, along the way from, like you guys, just the best hack. But I love that they do that. Oh, that's such a good idea. Oh, that's so cool. Like all of life. So we're picking up some stuff from her family culture, from my family culture. And we're trying to, as you guys have done it, you look at your kids and it's just like, we marvel at the
Yes.
parenting job you've done. It's unbelievable. And we've got our misfit crew that we're developing.
Which is an inversion, really, because it's 3 boys, 1 girl. And of course, with us, it's 3 girls, 1 boy, except with Linya in heaven. So it's actually very fun. Yeah.
Right. It's so fun. But even like on the drive over here, Maverick, our 8-year-old, you guys have gotten to spend time with him. I was asking him on the way here. So Maverick, remind me, what happened with Jonah in the Bible? What did he? And he spits it out and he just goes. I go, mate, that's right. And what happened with Daniel? And so he did it. I go through Moses and I go through. And just, so you find ways to try and engage them. And at lunch, Julia's talking about your message. And, you just, sometimes you feel like we're completely failing.
Yeah.
Lord, help us. And other times, like today in the car, you're like, maybe he's catching something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I feel like more and more, I mean, as we're getting older, as our kids are getting older, it's like you do your best. And I feel like I'm failing most of the time. But
Yes.
you do what you can. You do your best. You try to listen to the Holy Spirit and all the things. But then you just see God's grace, like just fill in the gaps. And then you see, like, our oldest is 18 and she's going to college. And it's like, wait, who are you? Like, I was talking to her today. She was telling me some things happening in her life. And I'm like, I just love you.
Yeah.
And I just like you, and I want to be your friend. Like, I'm just amazed. Like you said, I'm just marveling at, like, God's
So cool.
just so kind.
So cool.
And he uses the brokenness
Yes.
and the messed upness somehow. So
But I think, like you said, it's a grace.
Yeah, I will say, you asked about if it was modeled for us. I think both of our parents were first generation Christians. Our dads got saved in the 70s, and our dads met at like a Jesus party in college. So we've known each other our entire lives.
Oh my God.
It's like marrying your cousin. Just kidding. It's not.
And if you want to hear the
We're
full
not.
conversation on the first time you guys run together, you shared that full story with the
And it's
Thanksgiving
amazing.
and the ugly duckling, like the whole.
The
she
whole thing.
looked at
Yeah,
each
the
other
whole
both like,
thing.
"Wait, you're not
The
the
whole
young
thing.
goose anymore. You're now a beautiful swan." You know, like yeah.
I am a butterfly. No,
That's it.
yes,
That's it.
yes,
I didn't mean to
came-
call either of you an
I
ugly
came
duckling. Those were your
out-
words.
I came out of my cocoon. No, I expanded my wings. No, but our dads were from really broken homes, just like worst case scenario, abuse and neglect, and there's poverty and substance issue. There's
All
just
the stuff.
everything you can
All the things.
imagine. And then they're saved, and they were both the firstborns. And my dad would say, we didn't have all the answers. We didn't have the resources. So they prayed. And my 3 sisters and we all love Jesus and have families and love our parents and love the church. And I don't think my parents had like a perfect roadmap. They didn't have obviously examples themselves. They didn't go to seminars or read all the books. But my dad would say like God's grace was really, really kind. And I do think that there's a lot of that.
Yeah.
So I think that sometimes, we want to be good stewards with these beautiful gifts that we've been given. And we always, always try to make improvements and not parent out of fear or forget the past mistakes.
Yeah.
But we want to really pray over our children and believe that God, there's a prayer that my dad prayed over me every single night. And sure, he had made his mistakes too as a parent, but he would pray this. He would say, God, I pray that your will would be done in Julia's life. And like you ultimately want them to be released like arrows. You want those kids to be God's kids and his plan to be fulfilled in their lives. But yeah,
beautiful.
yeah.
And what helps us is your books. You know, we use your, I'm telling you, it's so, I
No, they're amazing.
sing the praises of those kids' books. I mean, it's as good as it gets.
Yeah.
So we've used that. It's been a huge resource to us.
Yeah.
thank
And you
you.
said
So
we have
thank
a
you for
strong culture. I think we have a very loud, chaotic culture.
That is culture.
Yeah, our oldest daughter has special needs, but I tell
Georgia, sweet Georgia.
sweet Georgia. But I tell everyone all the time, I'm like, all my kids have special needs. Just,
Don't we all?
they're all,
Don't we all?
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's just,
Yeah, I'm in the line. Yeah,
they're
exactly.
they all make you cry and they all make you
But
frustrated.
Georgia is,
Yes.
speaking of defying the odds, right? I mean, she is
Yeah.
at right
She is.
now a place the doctor said she could not be at, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, she had such a low percentage, chance to get here. So, and by the way, she's done such a good job taking care of her. I think she's going to live a very long life.
She's very healthy.
She's so healthy. Her immune system is so strong. Every time Georgia goes bad as far as seizures and sickness, and we think, this last couple of years, we've had a few nights where we thought, I don't know if she's going to pull through. Within 2 days, she's back. Kicking and cooing and stronger than ever. She is a fighter.
And she flew this summer.
She
She
flew.
flew this summer first time.
Julia
7
flew her up.
years.
Yeah. First time in 7 years. Her parents took Georgia for the month of July.
She's
deal.
very healthy. She's outlived our expectations, any doctor's predictions
Man's
by
expectations.
years.
Yeah.
And then I think, and then that presents its own challenges. When God answers your prayer and supersedes and then you like live in it, you're like, oh, okay, like I didn't envision this. So now how do we navigate through this season?
Yeah, she's a middle
big-
schooler. She's big.
She's big. She's heavy.
You carry her around. You're like, oh, she's a big girl. She's a big girl.
Oh, I thought your noise was because of her armpit stinky.
No, yeah, yeah. Gotta make sure she's got that deodorant.
Yeah.
And she's a middle
Because
schooler.
she's in middle
She's
school.
fully a
Yes.
middle
Yeah.
schooler.
Yeah.
It's like that noise.
Yeah.
And,
It's
and
wild.
we've been knit together in that way. I mean, it's like
Yeah.
there's such a unique thing with Linya and Georgia's
Yeah.
stories, both loss, both
Yeah.
pain, both grief, but
Yeah.
God has filled in the gaps, like we said a
That's
moment
right.
ago. And I think that's why I think your characterization of joy, which I think everybody around the world would go, Veaches, joy.
Yes.
Like it is such the gospel in action.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
of what you guys have had to carry. And I think
Yeah.
that's just a testament of the defiance of joy.
Yes.
And I don't think we always think
Yes,
about joy
that's
as being
beautiful.
defiant, but there
So
is a
good.
defiance to joy.
I love that.
Yeah.
And I think, we were talking about it earlier in this trip about people that haven't been able to go through hardship and keep going. And that was one thing that we decided so early on. I think you have, it's the old saying, like, opportunities of a lifetime must be seized within the lifetime of the opportunity. I think when you face trial and tribulation, there is a window of opportunity of resolve. What am I going to do with this? Who am I going to be? How will we be defined by this moment? And I thank God that, the testing of our faith, it was proven. It found itself to be gold.
Yeah.
And we came through the other side going like, this is not what I wanted. This is as hard as I've ever imagined. But our hands are up
Yeah.
and our hope is, in God.
Yeah.
And we're faith-filled and we're serving. We're not shrinking back from giving life away. I love that verse you used today. The world of the stingy gets smaller and the world of the generous gets bigger. I love that. And you taught that so well that it's not just about money. I was thinking about that. Not just about money. It's energy, time, love, investment.
Yeah.
Even in hardship, you can be generous.
Yeah.
With your lessons, with the joy you learned in it, absolutely.
100%.
Well, I don't want to shift gears because this is gold, but I do want to,
But
because you
we
brought
are.
up books,
Yeah.
talk about your new book. You have in October
Next month.
the release of your brand new book.
Yes.
Tell us about it.
It's called I Bet You Think This Book Is About You.
Amazing
Oh my
title.
God.
Thank you, Lisa Turkers,
Very good titles.
for your title wisdom. And the subtitle is How to Avoid the Pitfalls of Pride and Gain the Rewards of Humility.
Yeah.
And you just think about what humility does. God literally says, I am opposed, I am in opposition with people that are filled with pride. I give grace to the humble. It is our Jeff Sims, our Peloton instructor, the great Jeff Sims, that says, no ego, amigo. And I just think it's such a big deal. And it's so funny. I've written this book and now Julia will sometimes test me and go, oh, interesting. The guy that wrote the book on pride
Okay, careful,
is saying,
careful.
because it's that thing.
Careful.
Pride is the only disease that makes everybody else sick.
Yeah.
Besides the person that has it.
Yeah.
Right.
And so I'm very excited to
A lot easier to spot when other people are wearing it, right?
There you go.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm excited to continue to learn and absorb this message, but I'm so excited to get into people's hands because I think it's the make or break. We're so drawn and attracted to people that are humble, and so is God.
Yeah.
And he's so elated to practice it at home. Like I am the beta tester recipient.
Or the Holy
Yeah.
Spirit,
Yeah.
you choose.
The Holy
No,
Spirit. You
Oh
choose.
my gosh, I love you.
So what have you learned
I'm
about
just
ego?
gonna put
and-
I'm just gonna put the book just on display all
In the
around
kitchen.
the
Yeah,
whole
yeah, yeah.
house.
Note to self:
On
don't write a
bedside
book about
table.
pride.
Yeah. I've learned so much, but diving into the subject, I've learned how much is still in me and how much I'm driven by ego
Yeah.
and having to constantly, we all have to do this, but check my motives and my intentions and why do I do things and why have I said that and what am I really about? So always asking yourself the tough questions. And so I think, it is that thing. Pride comes into your body in the form of bitterness, unforgiveness, resentment, fill in the blank. And then it just starts to destroy everything in its path.
Yeah.
So if we want the life that God has intended for us to live, it requires great humility. And humility, what I love about humility, because all of you are very confident people. So it doesn't mean that I have to lose my confidence or exchange it. Humility is not thinking less of myself. It's thinking less about myself.
Come on.
It's thinking about others, how to serve, give, which the greatest example of humility is Jesus.
Yeah.
Right.
He is the poster child. He is our example.
Yeah.
Though he had it all, he gave it all. So keeping our eyes on him and really studying his character and his nature and trying to get that DNA in us, sanctification, you use that word. I just get excited about the possibilities of who we could become as leaders, pastors, parents, teachers, fill in the blank.
Yes.
If we humble ourselves under the mighty hand of God.
Let it be, Lord.
Let it be so,
Yes.
Lord. Please. So
Yes.
I'm not going like, I've conquered it. and I'm going to teach it to you. It's more like, hey, like we got to really pay attention to this.
Yeah.
It's
So good. So the book's coming out. This is called, you probably think this book's about you.
I bet you think that, you know what? Yeah, it's from the song. Yeah. You're so vain.
Is there a book website, Chad?
No, but chadveach.org. It'll be right there.
Chadveach.org.
Yeah.
ZoeChurch.com for the podcast. Leadership Lean In on all the podcasting platforms.
All the platforms.
Anything else before we call this a day?
I'm just curious. If you don't want to buy the book for yourself, buy it for someone else. I want to see how that goes.
Wow. Yeah. Jennie.
Just send it to someone.
And you don't have to even put, your name on it that you
anonymous.
sent it. It's
Anonymous
anonymous. That's
Anonymous gift.
Wait, who is this?
Perfect.
We just found out we were some friends and we sent them up those uni pizza makers.
Yeah.
Is it uni?
Yeah.
And we sent them and we didn't realize that our name wasn't on it. So we said to them when we were just with them, hey, do you guys have that pizza maker we sent you? Like, it was you? So oh my gosh, can't believe, I'm so embarrassed that you didn't know it was from us.
Oh my
so
gosh.
yes, to proof, you can send the book to somebody that you think needs this message.
They don't need to know.
They don't need to know.
It's from the
Very
Holy Spirit.
good. I love it. I love it.
Chad, Julia, we love you guys. Thanks for
Love
being our
you.
friends.
Friends so much. Let's run into each other in Napa sometime.
Let's do it.
Yes.
Accidental
Riding
or
bikes.
planned.
Yeah,
One or the
yeah,
other.
exactly.
Blessings.
Love you guys.
Thank you so much for listening. Be sure to swing by LeviLusko.com and JennieLusko.com to see what's going on in our world.
And make sure to subscribe so you don't miss a single episode. And in the meantime, we would love to connect with you on social media.
Jennie and Levi Lusko out.
Access more